Tim, welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Corum Romvlvs large date in stainless steel and rose gold. You can see this unique Roman-inspired timepiece and purchase it on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and please click on the card in the upper right hand corner of the screen at any time to see our full listing for this watch with additional accessories included, pricing details, and of course additional high-resolution images. Now the watch on my wrist wears in unique fashion, mostly because it's large and cambered, and this is a feature rarely seen at any price point and in any class of watch. It's not a round watch, it's more oval in shape. Now you can see that the watch is 42 millimeters across what would conventionally be the round of the case, so that's from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, not including the crown. From lug to lug, it's actually not a big bully. It's 48.5, and you can see how the lugs themselves are very short, downward thrusting, and close cropped to the case, so it doesn't extend dramatically out and over the wrist, even though my wrist is 16 centimeters, and this is a very big watch. You could wear it comfortably down to a wrist as small as perhaps 13.5, 14 centimeters in circumference, and the watch is also nice and slim. Although it's massive, it's not high. It's only 12 millimeters thick, and you can see that there is a step between the case flank and the bezel that allows a dress cuff or a tight sleeve to get a good running start up and over this one. This is an interesting watch because it's very far off the beaten path for Corum, which is known principally for the bubbles, the bridges, and the feathers, maybe the coins as well. This watch has a long and special history with Corum because the original Romulus, Roman-themed, of course, debuted in 1966, and it was a pioneering watch in that it featured the stations of the hours, the Roman numerals for the hours, external to the dial on the bezel. Much like Gerald Genta's later Bulgari, it was a way of making the watch expressive and extending the watch face onto the real estate occupied by the bezel, and it was a breakthrough watch at the time. Now this is the large date, a modern take on the Corum Romvlvs, so Roman enthusiasts, this one is about as authentically Roman as the movie Gladiator, so the two really go hand in hand. Now, just because perhaps this was never worn on the Palatine Hill in antiquity doesn't mean it wouldn't look great on many wrists. You can see how handsome the case is. Beautifully cambered, it wraps itself around the wrist. The ergonomic equation here is excellent. You can also see the exceptional cambered sapphire. It actually curves to match the arc of the bezel, and you'll note the detail of the bezel, how it's been scored and striated on its flanks, even though it's only about 1.5 millimeters high. The designers really worked overtime on this watch. The bracelet is another ergonomic triumph. The links are relatively small, so there's a lot of flexibility designed in, and Corum didn't just stop with the two-tone effect. They went all the way, using contrasting metallic finish. You can see the gleam of the bevels on the flanks of these individual links. So satin finish, two-tone, and of course the polish to set it off. It also has an incredibly substantial twin-trigger deploying clasp. This feels like it belongs on a rugged sports watch. I don't know if Panerai has ever had a clasp this massive, and I can tell you that it's perfectly suited to the character of the watch, which feels incredibly hefty on the wrist. These swing arms, beautifully contrast finished with matte down the center and satin on their tops, are up to the task of keeping this one anchored to the wrist. And of course, when closed, like all great clasps, the partition point is minimally broadcast. There's just a gorgeous Corum marquee and nothing else. Twin trigger, it can't pop open accidentally, and that's a good thing, keeping this very heavy watch secure on the wrist. I'll also give a shout out to the lugs themselves, which featured screwed in bars. It's the more secure way to fix an exceptionally heavy watch to the wrist, and the best way to avoid a horrible accident. No spring bars here. Corum did this the right way. You'll also note the glazed crown featuring the Corum double key motif. Again, this one is all about design, and it's beautifully executed. Now there's a strong vertical striation, almost like Roman columns, to the dial itself running from 12 to 6. There's a gently stepped minute track outboard of the applied rose gold hour indices, and it adds another focal plane and level to the dial. You can see the double-digit date at 12 o'clock. Making this most practical of everyday complications easier to discern. Even for my eyes, I can tell you that this watch is a better daily companion than a single-digit date window, simply because it's more interesting to look at, and you always find yourself glancing at it. It provides a welcome reminder as well as a measure of amusement, and of course there is a quick set function for it. Now the watch is nicely anchored by that date at 12 and a small second subdial at 6 o'clock. Beautiful rose gold hands at center and a discreet Corum marquee at 3 o'clock. The watch is all about the size of the watch face, extended by that incredible rose gold bezel. Now on the case back, again, the Roman marquee, the laurel continues. The theme is consistent and well done. A handsome watch, it takes you back to the founding myth of ancient Rome. The Romulus is a handsome and uniquely Corum take on the men's everyday watch. Not purely a sports watch with 5 ATM water resistant, it's also not really a dress watch, featuring incredible proportions, heft, presence, and masses of stainless steel. This is a versatile timepiece that's a little bit flamboyant, a little bit rambunctious, and very distinctly Corum. Ever the art house, Corum of La Chaux-de-Fonds is always one to innovate and cross genres of horology. You can see this Corum Romvlvs large date in stainless steel and rose gold and take it home on our website.